interrupt me. God damn it! I told you that in the car. You're always running off at the mouth. You got a motor mouth. There's a motorboat stuck in your mouth. Just shut up. Sit the fuck back down.
Luke, did I ever tell you about Ahsoka Tano? She was your father's exotic teenage alien apprentice, a fine piece of jailbait from a more civilized age. She had the tightest body and the perkiest little breasts in the galaxy, barely legal in most systems. Anakin and I used to double team her at the end of every successful campaign during the Clone Wars, and once in a while we'd even have the entire 500 first run a train over her, part of official Jedi training, of course. In time, she learned how to handle a meat saber better than anyone in the Jedi Temple. She wore a miniskirt every day, so we told her there were no panties in space. And since she was constantly doing acrobatics, you'd get a glimpse of her orange pussy mid-fight as she'd do a flip while slicing a B-2 super battle droid in half. It was surreal. We taught her to grip her weapon backwards like a dildo, and she constantly got captured by pirates and slavers almost every other day.
My favorite video is a guy farting during Oppenheimer. The fucking, when they press it, it's like 3, 2. It's just silent before the bomb goes off. There's a video of a guy farting. And like 6 people are in the theater. There's a guy in the front all the way by himself like, ah. It's wonderful because they wasted, that movie's 90 hours long and they finally got the most important part and the guy's like,
yeah,
it's great.
Oh,
it's fun stuff.
Oh man, I love the internet. You gotta love the internet. Internet is forever. Remember that. A lot of people aren't aware of that. The internet is forever, folks. It's going to be here for a long time. And if you are caught doing something, whether it's great, not so great, whatever, the internet's here forever. And, you know, it's funny because there's been a lot of things that I've been through where people have been just really dirt to me. You know, like they just, look, I'm not like the most angelic person ever. Okay. By yeah, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it's, you know, there's a huge level of superstition when it comes to karma. There's times where I just don't believe in it. I think that's just a word that people use and they want to place onto others because of their own misfortune, because it's so bad. They feel so defeated that they'll just say anything just to, you know, make the other person feel cursed, if you will. But on the flip side of that coin, I have seen some shit happen to people, like a comeuppance on steroids, if you will. So, you know, it's 50-50. And if you start something that you honestly have wanted for a long time, but it began out of dishonesty, then I always believe, and I have seen this come to fruition, it comes when you least expect it, of course. And when it does, it's really bad. And it's not just one thing, it's just a chain of events that just keep happening. And it just won't ever stop until, I don't know. But if you start something that feels good and warranted and you wanted it for a long time and it's finally here, but what did you do to begin its genesis? Well, if there was dishonesty to be had, something not so good is going to follow. It's like a curse. I do believe in curses because we have seen those. We have seen those things happen. We have witnessed people who just are just in a continuous bad streak of luck. You know what I'm saying? And they have that temporary, you know, window of everything's fine. until it starts to get questionable. Don't fuck with people, folks. Just be nice, be kind, and don't do any funny business. Okay, that's all I've got to offer when it comes to life. How's it going, folks? I did say that my last video was going to be the last of the year, but there are things that are just being squeezed in before the new year is ending. So, not too much, but enough to talk about with you guys out there and discuss what's happening amongst the pop culture um, umbrella, I guess, if you will. Something. I don't know. I don't know. I can't go back and edit this, and I don't care. So, moving on. Folks, Nosferatu was released in theaters on Christmas Day, December 25th of 224. Um, Look, I mean, you could find like 15,000 videos on YouTube talking about this movie, whether they liked it or they didn't like it or they loved it, whatever. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. The question is, what did I think of it? I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. Did I love it? No, but I liked it a lot. And I liked it enough to recommend it to people who love horror movies, vampires, old school vampires. I'm not talking about the suave, pale faced, I'm wearing a limousine outfit type of vampire, limousine outfit. I guess I'm talking about, the blazer shirt and a tie. I don't know. Vampires suck. Now they do. Literally. I did a thing. No, vampires. The vampire genre has been weak. All right, it's been weak as like a vampire not getting enough blood on a daily basis. That's how weak it has been. The last great, I guess you could say, well, not great, but the last decent vampire movie that we've ever gotten was 30 Days of Night. That was a long time ago. Ever since then, we've gotten the True Bloods, the Twilights, um, and all of this other stuff that it's just kind of trying to emulate the Twilight, you know, uh, aesthetic, if you will. Vampires are just way too sexy nowadays, and I know that sounds very weird. They're just too sexy, guys. We have to change things up. We have to make things ugly again, and that's kind of the truth. It's kind of the truth because vampires. I mean, really, the sexy thing really stemmed from Bram Stoker's Dracula when Dracula was able to, make himself younger again, to make himself look attractive to Mina, the woman that he is pursuing, because it reminds him of his past love. Um, and so we know that can happen. A vampire can change his appearance, and I guess the excuse for Hollywood to be able to cast a young, fresh face, hot actor of the week is to do that. It's be like, well, Dracula did it, so the vampires can do that, so that our vampires are sexy. I get it. That's cool. It's Fright Night did that where they took the good-looking guy, the good-looking guy version of a good-looking guy from the '80s, make him the next door vampire Jerry Dandridge, and he becomes the demon monster vampire at the end of the movie. That's cool. But when you got like these like vampires that are just so pretty and just so fine, and they're just, he's just standing there looking very handsome and, majestic, and you see the teeth underneath, but that's it. That's all they got, So we got Nosferatu, Count Orlok. Um, Listen, the movie was good. The performances were good. Lily Rose Depp, she was good in the trailers. Her performance in the trailers were better. But watching the movie, I felt like watching Keanu Reeves from Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I love Keanu Reeves. I love Keanu Reeves. He's like the most likable, lovable, semi-bad actor in Hollywood, which is why he gets a pass. Unfortunately, that's kind of the truth. Let's be honest. But Keanu Reeves, he's just fun to watch. He's entertaining, and there's just something likable, like I said, that you're glued to whatever you're watching. And if it's a good movie like Speed or The Matrix, or even Point Break, which it's charming. It's dumb, but it's charming and it's fun to watch. Lily Rose Depp doesn't give me that sense of like I really love to watch her, in anything type of thing. But listen, that's besides the point. She was good for what she needed to do for what the script called out for her to do. It's just the British accent, man. Those British accents, it's a bit of a doozy. Now, a lot of people out there will say, "Whoa, I thought it was fine. Her accent was great. It's just normal. It sounded British to me." When you watch a lot of Doctor Who and you watch a lot of British television, you can tell the differences of accents. Now, you can argue and say, well, this is from, centuries ago. This is Victorian. So perhaps maybe their dialect was a little different for whatever fucking reach flex that they want to do. I just didn't. There was just times where she was talking and I went, it's coming off Australian. And sometimes it comes off as its own accent. And you don't know what it is. You can argue it's similar to Winona Ryder's British accent in Bram Stoker's Dracula, where it's oof, yeah. So anyway, um, sorry, the seat here is just like there's just no cushion. So if I'm moving a lot, forgive me. Actually, I don't care. But anyway, whether you like it or not, I don't care. No, but in all honesty, Nosferatu is a movie that I think I will watch a couple of times, maybe not watch it after a while, because I can see how this movie can be just a little bit boring after the second watch, perhaps. It's a movie that builds up and it's a very slow burn, but it's a very good slow burn. Okay. I like everything that's building up to the third act, which ironically was kind of weak, but not to the point where it takes you out of the movie. It is a fine film. It does what it needs to do. It really does give you that feel. Um, it feels like the sister of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It has that kind of aesthetic. It has that look. It has that feel, that visceral feel to it. Um, it also gives you. It's not scary. It's not scary where you're gonna come home and you can't sleep at night. But it's a bit unnerving. uh there's parts where it's hard to watch, to witness. It's very disturbing to look at. It's that kind of movie. But the tension, also the tension, I love tension level movies where the entire film is just tension, and that's what this is. It just, you feel like you're about to get up and do something, you know what I'm saying, but you don't know what you're going to get up and do. That's this type of movie. It just keeps you in tuned for the next scene. That's what this movie does. And there are people that watched this movie and complained and said it was boring or whatever. It's the weakest Robert Eggers film out there. Listen, this director, I want to see him tackle The Shadow, a proper adaptation of The Shadow, which to this day I'm waiting for a proper adaptation. My brother and I have spoken in the past about this, and we've always wanted to like flirt with the idea of doing like a radio serial or something. But ever since I've watched Robert Eggers' career just unfold, especially with The Northman, and now with this, there is no doubt in my mind that this gentleman can handle a character like the Shadow. I don't even know if he's interested in doing something like that or if he's aware of what that character is, but this man is the only director I can see handling that character and doing it justice. Even just thinking about it just gives me goosebumps because I know that he could do it. So, but other than that, I really love The Witch. The Witch is great. I think that would be my favorite Robert Eggers film so far. This would be a close second. I did enjoy The Northman. I liked that movie a lot. Uh, The Lighthouse was fine, a bit overrated, but it was still a fine movie. It's a movie that I don't think I'll ever go back and watch again. I did like The Northman. I thought it was a very awesome revenge flick. Um, Nosferatu is a movie that I've been looking forward to ever since it was announced that it was going to be made and that Robert Eggers was tackling onto this project. So there's a lot that was going for this movie, especially if it's a remake of a remake of an old 1922 movie, silent film. But you know something, I look at this film as its own thing. Now, going back to Count Orlok, Bill Skarsgård, I think that Bill Skarsgård is terrific at playing character roles like this. I could see the guy portraying a Joker. I could see the guy portraying something otherworldly. And yeah, of course he could play himself, but it just astounds me that we've got Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie also, in Nosferatu, who he was fine. He served the film well. But you've got Aaron Taylor Johnson and Bill Skarsgård. They were also in two of the worst pieces of shits of the year. And these two are now in a movie which you can arguably say it's one of the best films of the year, Nosferatu. So I think that this movie, Nicholas Hoult, he's great in. Nicholas Hoult was, to me, Nicholas Hoult was the standout, and I don't think this guy gets enough credit for this role, or even as an actor. I think he's terrific in everything. This guy has got range, okay, and he's becoming one of my new favorite actors that's working today. I saw Juror Number 2 on HBO just recently. I thought he was fantastic in that. Directed by Clint Eastwood. Clint, but it's just this man, he knows how to give a performance. And I think a lot of the fear from Nosferatu was watching as they try to hide Count Orlok's appearance through the film. You get the camera on Nicholas Hoult a lot. And really, the terror comes from his reaction. And his reaction is what freaks you out a little bit. You know, you're getting nervous because of what this dude is looking at and what he's experiencing. This movie is fucked up, but it's good fucked up. Not Terrifier 3 fucked up, you know, not Terrifier franchise in that sense, but this is a movie that is telling a story. But as the story is unfolding, you come across a lot of awkward, unnerving shit that happens in this film. You see people do things that you're like, that's got to be tough. And the last shot of this movie is it stays with you. You know what I'm saying? Like it just stays with you. Just think of burnt chicken wings that are just eaten up. That's the best way I could describe it. The opening of this film was also bizarre and intense, but it's, you know, in the old rule book, you know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Yes. And this movie, it begins insanely crazy and good. It ends insanely crazy and good. But I did dig the moments that I was familiar with when it came to the 1922 silent film. There were parts in this movie where I was like, okay, this is this and this is that. It's fun to do that, to see like the before and after and how all that stuff. But like I said, this movie is terrific. Bill Skarsgård, he just knocks it out of the park with this role as Count Orlok. Even Count Orlok, his look, okay, is different than when we see in the 1922 original silent film, because this dude looks like in the 1922 silent film, he looks like a goblin. You know, he looks like what, you know, like what you would think the Green Goblin should look like, you know, from Spider-Man. That's kind of what Count Orlok looks like, you know. So, but you know, with his look, Bill Skarsgård, uh, his Count Orlok is in every way, shape, or form what Count Orlok should look like. It makes more sense. And people were talking about how it's ugly, how it's not, you know, that's not how he's supposed to look because, you know, he's this, that, and the other. And I, I'm like, okay, first off, the bad receding hairline totally works. The mustache totally works. They try to make him look like Vlad the Impaler, you know, who Dracula was based off of. Genius move. Genius move. I don't know. Maybe people just expected another goblin vampire thing. I dug 100% what they did with Count Orlok's presence in this film. He's fucking terrifying looking. And if that man was standing right in front of you when you wake up in the middle of the night in bed, guarantee it. And your little, it doesn't look like a real vampire to me. You would shit your pants in bed and wait until 7 a.m. to change those sheets, because Count Orlok is fucking nuts in this movie. And my God, you see his dick. Which, you know, in all honesty, it's It's a very fine penis. No, it's a very small, decayed, burnt little thing. But uh, that's like there's boobies in this movie. Yes, boobies. There's boobies in this movie, and I'm 12. But this movie was great. It lives up to the hype. Go see it if you love vampire horror, gothic, Victorian, whatever it is thing. You're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it. I'm sorry, I can't put words together like a professional right now because I'm tired and it's a little late in the night. But um, I had a lot of fun with it in terms of the drama, characterization. Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe is just fun to watch in anything. He was in Spider-Man. He was Harry Osborn. No, Norman Osborn. Green Goblin. And it was a terrific, terrific role to watch him in. So watching him in anything else, in anything, it's really fun. Don't care for the Boondock Saints, but again, he is pretty much the only entertaining thing out of that entire movie for me. Considering the character he played, I absolutely love watching him in anything. But he was also in the new Beetlejuice movie, which I thought was weird. He did have one of the most funny. Okay, William Dafoe in Beetlejuice in the second one had the biggest laugh from me. In one moment towards the end of the movie, because the movie was iffy, but there was a moment where he jumps into the cake, and I don't think that was supposed to be hilarious, but it was, given the context of the film. Other than that, aside from Michael Keaton, Willem Dafoe was the only good thing in Beetlejuice. So, but like I said, he was also in Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home. I thought in Spider-Man No Way Home that I thought that it was just a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant version of the Green Goblin coming back from, you know, from the other universe. So I thought that was pretty cool. But you want to know what else? Spider-Man has been presented in a terrible trailer. Let's check this out, folks. This came out this morning. And again, look, for those of you that are new to this channel, new to me, and you just pop this video on, I don't like Disney Marvel. I never have really cared for it. They were good up until after Endgame. Like the majority, after Endgame, things started to get really weak, and it got weaker. And then supposedly that they cleaned house in Marvel because things were not looking too good. But they came out with a new Spider-Man cartoon. New Spider-Man cartoon, folks. Just what everyone has been wanting to see. And it's not a continuation off of the Spider-Man 97 cartoon from Fox Kids. No, we have a completely new iteration of Spider-Man. I can't wait. I can't wait. Marvel's back, baby. Can't wait. Let's check this out. Why the fuck are you using that song? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready for incompetence, creative bankruptcy, and something that is possibly going to be very dated once this cartoon is out and it's like, what, 6 months old? Let's watch.
Peter, you're gonna be late.
Sorry, man, I'm okay.
Hey,
Oh,
Petey's always been a bit clumsy.
Okay, here we go.
you know me, clumsy Petey Parker. Help! Mr. Campbell, I remembered I left something in the bathroom. Deuces. Parker out.
Superpower size kid, know you want to name.
Parker out.
See that from the studio that brought you X-Men 97. X-Men 97 was actually good. Doesn't mean that this is going to be. No. New showrunners, different people behind this. It seems like they still have the. Oh, I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a fuck. This cartoon looks like it was made in 2020, like 3 weeks after Floyd passed away. Marvel Disney said, "Get on it, get on it." Yeah, it looks like it. How many seconds are we into this? 35 seconds, and this looks like fucking DEI garbage. But who knows? Let's see. Could be good. I could be wrong. Let's hope so.
Superpower size kid, know you want to name it like me. Look out.
Somebody help me! He's running, grab him! Gotcha!
I thought it was dead meat. Check out our next victim in his dumbass costume.
Is my suit really that bad?
Ouch.
Oh! Watch out for that ladder! Just consider it a good deed from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's me, by the way. I'm Spider-Man.
There we go again. Swimming through the city so fast you could barely notice him.
I truly believe that I have these powers to help people, to protect them.
Need my city, you need me. Taking off the mask, I know what you see. Know you want a neighbor like me. Just a young man cleaning up the streets. Ain't nothing changed, no, this is the real.
Oh wow! Look, they made Norman Osborn black. So what they did was they took the villain and made him black. When there's black characters in Spider-Man, original characters who just happened to be black, but they took Norman Osborn, a white guy, a white billionaire, who is a genius, who becomes the Green Goblin. They made him black because, black kids need to see themselves as a fucking super evil genius. Fuck Marvel, I swear to God. Fucking Disney Marvel, dude. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Disney, they try to cater and pander to an audience that doesn't exist. So like if you're in Hollywood right now, right, and you're a struggling actor or an actor that does things, you're going to look at this video and what I'm saying, and you're going to be doing this. You're wrong, bro. You're wrong. Even though you agree with me, you wish you could say the things that I could say right now because I'm a nobody. But and even if I was a somebody, I'm still going to talk the way I do. But the thing is let's go back. You're a struggling actor and you have an X account, and all you do is post things. But you praise the bullshit that's online that everyone echo chambers with and whoa. Don't know. Don't care. But if you're gonna sit there and defend this, because you're afraid you're not going to get any work in Hollywood or whatever, you got to be on the right proper side of Hollywood. You're fucked. So you're fucked. This entire thing here to me is desperation. Disney doesn't care about black people. Disney doesn't care about white people. They don't care about gay people. They don't care about trans people. They don't care about anybody under the umbrella of diversity. They don't care. You know what they care about? Your money, your hard-earned cash. Because in the end of the day, it's not about who you make happy. It's not about who you pissed off. It's about how much you made off of Disneyland tickets, movie sales, and all of those things. This right here to me is a small piece of a big picture that's fucking annoying, and it's been going on for way too long. And again, If you're one of those people on X and you have an X account who constantly talks shit about Elon Musk, but yet you still have an account and will keep it and don't plan on deleting it because you need to stay relevant, and you are an echo chamber, which you know that shit like this is dumb, but you want to get a job in Hollywood, so you don't want to piss people off because you know people are watching. Yeah. Fuck Disney. Fuck Disney. Fuck Disney. Fuck Disney. Right? This right here is a meme on its own. The fact that people still took this cartoon and said, you know what? I think it might work. Let's just put it out there and see what happens. They just can't help themselves. Nobody is going to watch this. There's maybe at least a couple of people that are going to watch it as background noise or to catch a few minutes of what's this Spider-Man cartoon about? And then they're going to just channel the fuck out and probably go back on HBO Max or something. Yes, I still call it HBO Max. You want to know why? Because it's fucking HBO. It'll be back as HBO one day. Let's continue watching this, shall we? This might be good.
So, you're Spider-Man. With my help, you'll achieve greatness.
Oh man, this suit's incredible. If you ever need another butt kicking, just look for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You want a neighbor like
And no, you may not be excused from said test. Ah, nice of you to join us, Mr. Parker. See me after class.
Oh, man. That looks absolutely terrible as fuck. Oh my God, that looks terrible. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel character. He is the Batman of Marvel. This is no different than the other fucking Batman cartoon that came out, the Caped Crusader, the J.J. Abrams one, the one, again, of course, that struggling working actors in Hollywood, you know, working to none actors in Hollywood love to, you know, praise because, you know, maybe that producer or somebody will, you know, look at their positive attitude. I don't know. There's just a lot of fake people on X, and they're all from fucking LA in that little melting pot that's called a city, which is really a prison. But yeah, you're gonna have a lot of that. It's a lot of bullshit in in Hollywood still, and Hollywood is dumb. In big old caps, Hollywood is dumb. They're still dumb. There's people arguing saying, well, it's getting better. There's a shift going on. Yeah, there is a shift happening. I can see it happening. I can feel it. But we're still on the same boat, folks. We're still on the same shit train that is just spewing and just spewing bullshit after bullshit. Ugh, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. My God. Did I mention I saw Nosferatu? That was great. Nice little thought palette cleanser there. Anyway, yeah, so this animation, this cartoon does not look good. I don't think it's going to be successful. I think it's going to be terrible. It's going to be another example of, see, what did you think was going to happen? So yeah. But anyway, moving on, folks. Jason Momoa. He played Aquaman in Justice League, Aquaman 1 and 2. And looks like today people have been posting about this, but I'll see this here. So Jason Momoa has been officially cast as Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Is it still going to be called Woman of Tomorrow? It sounds really stupid, but okay. They should just call it Supergirl. Woman of Tomorrow. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's what the normies will say. I don't get it. Like when they said Superman Legacy was the first title before they even just called it Superman. Superman Legacy. What does that mean? Like, what does it even mean? But whatever. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It sounds cool. It just doesn't make any kind of sense. Woman of Tomorrow. Tomorrow's Woman. Anyway, Jason Momoa is going to be playing Lobo. And the back porch light just went on. I think one of the dogs went outside. Simba. Simba. No, that's the dog's name is Simba. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if James Gunn's vision of the DC universe is ever going to be something that's going to stay consistent. I don't know. We talked about this on my last video, but James Gunn, they delayed the Batman 2. They delayed the Batman 2. They delayed my boy. My boy. However, to be fair, though, the Batman wasn't that great of a movie. It was a very mid film after the second act. I thought the first two acts were great. It should have ended when the Riddler assassinated Falcone. I think that you would have had a really good sequel with the Riddler, even though that wasn't really the Riddler to me. I think it was a terrible fucking adaptation of the Riddler, one of the worst. But other than that, he had a terrific series in The Penguin. The Penguin was fantastic to the point where it made you forget about the Batman and its problems, and it made people who don't even care for the first Batman look forward to the Batman Part 2, which is now called The Batman 2. I don't understand the thought process of James Gunn when it comes to Batman, cinematic Batman. I don't understand. It's really dumb. The character of Batman is not only something to have fun with when it comes to being creative and wanting to create something that you know you've got a character with rich characters and a rich world. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Like, why wouldn't you want to play in that playground? I don't understand. I don't understand. And honestly, the thought process of the sequel coming out years after the first film is just stupid. It's just dumb. It just really is dumb. Then he's like, to be fair, you know, we the sequels take long to, and he was trying to compare, with the Terminator films and all these other movies that waited like 7 years, the Avatar films and shit like that. It's like, dude, no. Here's the thing, and this is what I think is going on. Okay, what I think is going on is that James Gunn just doesn't want the Matt Reeves Batman films to be part of his DCU. Because I think James Gunn's Batman is going to lean more towards the fantasy element of things than the grounded in reality where Batman fights the mob, deals with the punks on the streets. And I got to give Zack Snyder credit for this one here because the man just fucking made movies. He wasn't sitting there trying to become Marvel Studios. And a lot of people were saying, well, Zack Snyder's trying to be like Kevin Feige, throwing everything all in one basket. Now, looking back at it now, I don't think Zack Snyder was trying to emulate anything from Marvel Studios at the time. Yes, Marvel was ahead of the game because they had their Avengers films. But we also have to remember that Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are far more popular than any of those characters in the Avengers movies. So I understand wanting to get those characters right out of the door and start kicking ass making their films. It's just those scripts to those characters, to that movie, wasn't all that great. But I will give credit where credit's due. Zack Snyder was not trying to be Kevin Feige. Zack Snyder was just trying to be Zack Snyder. He wanted to see these characters come to life. He made a Batman that fought criminals and the fantastical. It was insane, but it's been done. And a lot of people don't want to admit it because Zack Snyder, he just exists. He's a filmmaker, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that he entertained that took his entertainment and turned it into some sort of weird cult-like thing where they're pretty much the Snyder Bros online and they love anything this dude makes, but they are totally confused as to what makes a good movie. Visuals don't make a good movie. The script, story, plot, characters do. Everything else is just special features. So I just don't care. Like, if you took Nosferatu and you filmed it like a CW show, but it's still the same script, it's still the same characters, it's still the same thing. You just lessen the budget and you don't have really good cinematographers. It would still be a good movie because of it's the same fucking story. It's the same ingredients. It's just not served on a fine dish. Your expensive china. So what I'm trying to say is that Zack Snyder made mediocre films with great cinematography. Those movies were beautiful to look at. Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Beautiful cinematography to be had. Just the execution was just a little bit questionable. But I will say this, when people say, can't we get a proper Justice League? James Gunn will help us. I'm sorry, but there's a Superman trilogy out there that a lot of people aren't aware that it's a Superman trilogy. It's the only Superman trilogy we have, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think those are okay movies. They are pretty good for what they are trying to do. Sure, they might not be the definitive versions, but they're pretty entertaining and they're fun to watch. They are not the be-all, end-all of superhero films. They are more just like those movies. Let's just put on those movies as background noise. Or if you want to just watch something and be entertained, put those on. Listen, James Gunn, what he's doing with DC right now is what everyone has been complaining about what they thought Zack Snyder was trying to do. When you've got James Gunn constantly lying about shit, well, Ben Affleck, we want to work with Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was like, I don't want to fucking work with James Gunn. He went on public saying that, like, hell no. Okay. And then second off, plus James Gunn's got a lot of freaky skeletons in the closet, it seems, and he's trying really hard to maintain that image. You know what I'm saying? I think his hire was impulse hiring, to be honest with you, because I like James Gunn. I do. I think he makes good movies. I think he is a good writer. He's not the greatest writer. I think that he rips off Joss Whedon a little too much. I think he tries to. I think that he thinks he is the new Joss Whedon, who is turning into the Kevin Feige that gets to take over DC. Of course, your ego is going to be, fuck you, Matt Reeves. I'm going to do my own Batman because it's the right version. It's the correct one. No, sorry. Never mind the fact that you're sitting on money. You've got a hit HBO series that just came out that everyone has been going crazy for, that didn't care for the first film, but they're looking forward to the second film. And it's a universe that's already established. You have a Batman there that's already a Batman, and we can do stuff with it. But no, Brave and the Bold, a terrible fucking comic, and they're going to adapt it. They're literally adapting the 52 era. DC's 52. Of all the eras to adapt, why that? Why not the old school DC comics from 1980s? Like, why, go back and do those. I don't know, man. Creature Commando sucks. I don't care what anyone says. It sucked. It's a very underwhelming, stupid show. It seems like it's made for 12-year-olds. It's just dumb. It's dumb. It's as if Eli Roth is making it or something. It's just really dumb. And people are like, "Well, look, it's edgy because there's a naked woman in it." I don't fucking care. It's dumb. The cartoon sucks. The series, it's not terrible, but if you're going to start the DCU off with Creature Commando, that's how your ego is inflated. That's how stupid and delusional you can get. Is we're going to start the DC universe not with Superman, not with Batman, fuck Wonder Woman, Creature Commandos. The fuck out of here with all that, man. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's like Justine Bateman. Come on. For those of you that know, you know. But yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. So Hollywood is still dumb. Warner Brothers is dumb. Disney is dumb. Those are the powerhouses right now that's working, and they're dumb. Hollywood is dumb. If there's a shift happening, fuck, where's it at? Where's it at? I want to see a harder shift. Okay, I want to see the game change. Are we going to see that overnight? Hell no. Hell no. But talking about it will influence a lot of people talking about it, us as a discussion, not just me. I'm like one out of a million other channels out there that is probably talking about the same thing. But it still needs to be talked about because it is an issue. It is something that people are concerned about. People are not going to the movies as much. Sure, Mufasa made a lot of money this weekend. Why? Because it's Christmas, and a lot of parents needed to shut their fucking kids up and go see a movie for 2 hours. There you go. Sonic 3 is a movie. That's a movie you pay attention to. That's got charm. It's got characters. Mufasa's just shit that's just thrown on the screen. Digital junk. That again, you just put your kid in front of and just have him shut the fuck up, him or her, shut the fuck up for about a couple hours, and then you take him out back, to go home and stuff. That's all Mufasa is. It's just junk. It's just jargon. It's just crap. It's a terrible fucking movie. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen enough. I've seen the whole fucking thing actually, because I wanted to see how Scar turned. Okay, I just get that out. Okay, I wanted to see how Scar turned. I wanted to see what their version of that is, and it's just the most abrupt, laziest shit writing I have ever seen lately. I'm glad that my palate cleanser was Nosferatu. That movie is great on its own. Sonic 3 was good. I watched that right before I watched Nosferatu, actually. I thought Sonic 3 was just charming. It's good. I love the first two. I think the third one is my favorite. So yeah, but I love that film. But like I said, I love all three of the Sonics. I do. They're all the same to me, I think. But I would say that I would go back and watch the third one more. But aside from all that, movies are not what they used to be. The movie theater business is it's kind of dying. But I don't want to say that it's going to be dead soon. I think that it will come back to the way it was pre-COVID. A lot of people are saying, well, it's like, pre-COVID again. No, it's not. It's by far from not. It hasn't been getting any better. But it really just depends on what movie you put out now in the theater. Look at Spider-Man No Way Home. No Way Home made $1 billion. And shortly before that, people were like, well, people are just not ready to go to the movies because, I know everything because I'm a movie journalist who used to be a lawyer, went to law school. Now I'm a movie journalist and I know fucking everything in Hollywood. No, fuck off. Shave your dick and go sit on the toilet. No, Hollywood is fucking dying. Okay. It's dying. I'm not seeing a recovery stage right now at this point. But Spider-Man No Way Home, you've got Spider-Man, it's Marvel. You've got Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. You've got all the ingredients to make $1 billion hit. You've got all the ingredients to get people to pay for those seats. So asses can be in it, and therefore they could watch it and be entertained, possibly give word of mouth, and that's how that movie was successful. Deadpool and Wolverine was successful this year, made $1 billion. They had a great marketing campaign. You've got two characters that everyone wants to see and would rather watch than, let's say, a Shang-Chi or a Miss Marvel and all that stuff. They don't fucking care, okay? Those characters are fun to watch for a little bit, and you're like, it's not bad. But you've got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. That's going to dethrone pretty much everything you've watched from Marvel recently because you're like, hey, look, it's two characters that I actually care about. Two characters that I know. Stop thinking about what other people think because that's going to fuck up your opinion about things. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. See how correct I am? Okay. From one YouTuber to another. Marvel sucks. It sucks. Disney Marvel sucks. Okay. They have been sucking. Their TV shows are not good. Their movies are terrible. With the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine, Disney Marvel is kind of dead. It's dead in the water. It's dead, but it's kind of on life support. Star Wars is just fucking dead. Okay, you can't even put that on life support. It's just gone. All right. In fact, it's already in hospice and it's just ready to be just taken to the garbage. It's just mind-blowing to see these franchises just gone, just gone. Star Trek. Let's see what's happening with Star Trek here, because Star Trek as of recent, there has been a they decanonized supposedly Star Trek Discovery, which is a show that is terrible. But it wasn't the start of bad Star Trek. The start of bad Star Trek was J.J. Abrams making Star Trek. Star Trek 2009 was okay. I thought that was fun. It wasn't Star Trek, and it had a really stupid villain, one of the dumbest villains in Hollywood history, in my opinion. But it was fun. You've got fun characters there. You got Carl Urban as Bones. I mean, you can't lose, right? The chemistry between the characters was very reminiscent to what the 60s show was. They all got along and they all worked as a team. It's fine. Great. But its sequel, Into Darkness. It's Star Trek Into Darkness has got to be one of the worst science fiction films in history, aside from possibly Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. It's leaps and just like, oh my god, just Hiroshima levels of bad Into Darkness. First off, the title Into Darkness doesn't make any sense whatsoever when it comes in regards to the movie Star Trek Into Darkness. You could argue and say that's how every movie is. Star Trek Into Dark, like the motion picture should have been called Star Trek Into Darkness. You know what I mean? So just J.J. Abrams just sucks. He just sucks. He's just such a big fucking fraud of a director. That gives people the illusion like the movie's good, but it's not. He makes beautiful looking movies, but it's content inside the story, whatever story it is, it's just terrible. And then that was followed up by Star Trek Beyond, which everyone was like, it's the best one out of all. And I think it's just as bad, if not it's more terrible than the rest of them, just in my opinion. It's not Star Trek. It's not. It's not Star Trek. Real Star Trek is, Bill Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, those guys. Those guys are my crew. Nichelle Nichols. Sorry, I thought I just heard something here. A presence I have not felt since. Anyway, Star Wars. Anyway, no, but the original Star Trek to me will always be Star Trek. That's Star Trek. Star Trek is Captain Kirk, Jean-Luc Picard, Benjamin Sisko, Captain Janeway, Captain Archer. That's Star Trek to me. Everything else is just pure, utter garbage. It's fan fiction, corporate fan fiction. And things like this, when they say Star Trek Discovery has been decanonized, yes and no. Yes and no, because Star Trek to me is something that I think that it's not Star Wars, it's not Marvel. If you want to throw in and say it's a multiverse, that right there, you're just killing it even more. Star Trek is a universe that is not in our universe. It's a period piece in a sense of the future. Like it's a different world. It's not our universe. Like our future is not Star Trek. You see what I'm saying? Like in the Star Trek universe, I don't believe that Barack Obama was ever the president. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a different universe of sorts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's brilliant. It's a show that made people think. You know what I'm saying? It made you use your brain instead of, as today's Star Trek is telling you how to use your brain. It's such a night and day difference. This is one of the worst captains of Star Trek. And listen, you've got Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, all of those things. I think Lower Decks is the least offensive, but it's also the most obnoxious of Star Trek content. Star Trek Discovery, to me, was the worst of Star Trek. But I've got to hand the worst Star Trek show thus far has got to go to Strange New Worlds. First off, Anson Mount is a fucking retard. He's a terrible fucking garbage human being. And this dude sold his soul to the devil to stay relevant. Says all the wrong fucking things on X, thinking it's right. Talks loads of shit on Elon Musk, even though he uses his platform constantly. And Strange New Worlds is very contradictory as to what Star Trek is and what it stands for. It really is. Star Trek isn't a show about spaceships, pew pew pew, fighting in the stars. No, that's Star Wars. Star Trek is a whole different beast of intelligence. Strange New Worlds. There's a lot of incompetent people working on the Enterprise. Essentially, it feels, and I'm not the only one to use this analogy, but all of Kurtzman Trek is literally friends in space. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's really, really dumb. And it's not Star Trek to me. It's not. It all started with the J.J. Abrams films because they all wanted to be so funny and so clever. We're like Joss Whedon in Star Trek. Like, my God, we're going to have so many fucking fans. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have people who'd never thought of Star Trek a day in their life think about it every day because Star Trek's amazing, right? So many fake fans out there, man. It's unreal. And I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they're all like, well, you can't talk about it because you don't know if what they really like, Josh. No, listen, I've already been on YouTube long enough. I've been on Twitter long enough to see the disingenuous fan movement out there with the unboxings and all of this stuff. And they're fake fans. There's a lot of Star Wars fan pages out there like Star Wars Explained. You've got people who go on these Star Wars trivia shows and give it their all. See, and I went on a Star Wars trivia show years ago, in 2020 actually. The Schmodown, if you will. And listen, at the time, wonderful group of people. To be honest, I only met Mark and Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis. I met those two. They couldn't have been nicer. Awesome people, genuinely nice. They just have bad takes on things, but so do my friends, and so does everyone in my life, and that's fine. Doesn't define you as a person. We all have opinions. It's the people they surrounded themselves with that were the ones that made me not care for the schmoes, if you will, back then, the Schmodown, whatever it was called. Didn't care for it. Respect for Christian and Mark, just didn't care for anyone else. Because everyone else seemed to be very, very fake, very disingenuous. They were all there living in LA, despite how shit that city is. They didn't care. They were people that want to be famous. They were people that want to be relevant. They were people that wanted to stay. They would say anything and do anything to be part of the club. I'm going to tell you right now, that club, Roxy, they don't fucking like you. They don't like you. You know what they like? They liked your disingenuous talk. They liked your talking points that'll get the studio attention. They loved your the idea of you, and I'm not just talking about Roxy Strong, I'm talking about people like her, people that surround themselves in Hollywood and will do anything to get a role. They will do anything to do this, to do that. The Mike Kilanowskis of the world also, as well as what I mentioned, is pretty much the person, the struggling actor, the struggling working actor that is on X, who has an opinion about everything when their opinions are absolute shit. The John Rokas, who comes off as, I'm the outlaw, but if you say anything bad about me, my skin will be as thin as fucking snow, and like the thinnest snow, like the snowflake. And they just get, it's a group of bullshitters. And I don't mind putting them down now, because they've been putting down a lot of people over the past years for having an opinion, for coming off and trying to defend themselves when it comes to having an opinion. You've got that RB3 fuckwad who goes off, and he's the most racist piece of shit ever, yet white people were the ones who gave him his opportunity, but the white idiots out there are not realizing that he's a racist piece of shit, because apparently if you call him a racist, or if you say anything bad about him, you're a bigot. And that's pretty much the shield that they have. These people are full of shit. And so what I want to tell YouTubers who are watching me right now, or people who are aware of them, that don't ever follow your heroes online, because they will make fun of you, they will shit on you, and they will make sure that you are the butt of a joke, simply because of how you live, how you are, who you are, and what your opinions are. They're not. That's why I'm glad Christian got away from all of that. And I don't know. I don't think that was his intention. I highly doubt it. But I don't think Christian would be stupid enough to keep that going when it's been tarnished. It's been fucking just. It's been vilified. Um, like they've got people on that podcast that are no longer fucking popular and successful anymore. You know what I'm saying? We had Ken Knapsack, who he's funny, he's charming, but when you bend the knee too much and you come off as someone who is an echo chamber, you're trying to say the safe things, the correct things, you're going to lose people, man. You're going to lose people. You want to know why? Because first off, Star Wars is fucking dead. So there goes half your audience there. We were on board with you up until Star Wars got dumb. And when Star Wars got dumb, for some reason, because they thought they could get free access or some shit, they still kept pressing down on the fact that Star Wars is doing something correct and that the fans don't get it. It's the fans' fault. Well, guess what, Ken? Half, if not most, of the fan base has been alienated. Look at their numbers. Look at where Star Wars is at right now. When Lucasfilm told half the audience, half of its customers, to go fuck themselves, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, of course you have 36 people watching your podcast after you've been on a successful show, and you got 36 views on a video. Now, I'm not trying to sound like one of those people, because I'd be lucky if I could get like 12. But I don't do it to get the audience to watch me. I do this because I can't talk about this shit in a normal conversation setting, you know. But eventually, people will watch it and discuss about it and talk about it and share it and all that stuff, just like they usually do. And that's fine. Like I said, you don't go 0 to 100 like that. But I will tell you what will happen, though, is the more honest you are with yourself, your audience, your channel, okay? Sure, you'll lose 100, but you'll gain 1,000 more. I'm just saying. I've seen it happen. I stopped listening to those fucks a long time ago, because I'd rather hear people that talk and say the truth. And they don't sell their souls to go get that free access, to go get that interview. They don't care. You know what they cared about? They care about entertaining people, and they care about also just talking about things without everyone getting so uptight about, your political beliefs and shit like that. Like your John Rokas, um, who, I mean, it's a weird, strange group of people, and you could definitely tell they're from LA. The LA people are just garbage. For the most part. I'm sure there's a lot of nice people out there in LA, like YouTubers out there who are probably struggling to get the fuck out of there, out of that city. Yeah, I feel you. But for those of you that are just there because you have to live there, you've got no choice, I feel for you. I really do. I mean, I'm in Las Vegas right now. It's not any better, just in my opinion. Um, but with all that being said, let's throw a little positivity here. New Year's is in 2 days. This year will end on a very brutal note, but at the same time, I'm also thankful for the things that I have in my life. I'm thankful for the friends that I have in my life, the friends that are also my new family. I'm thankful for that as well. I do believe that 2025 can be an amazing year, but I also think about that with every year. We all do. Let's be honest. Let's be real. We all do the same thing, and sometimes the year ends like shit. So, for those of you who had a very fortunate year, I'm glad. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that for people who have finally had a great year, I know that for a long time it's not been easy. So to have at least 1 year of this was awesome, this was great, I'm totally happy for you. And it's great. That's awesome. It's cool. I wish that for myself. I wish that for all of you. I wish that for everyone that I know. I wish that I could just give them everything they want, unless what they wanted was to kill babies and murder people. Then I won't. I'll just call the police instead. But I will say that it has been a very interesting year. When it comes to movies, I think it's been a great year for movies. How's about that? It's been a great year for movies. Lots of good things have happened this year. So maybe there is a shift. Maybe there isn't. But all I know is that we can always come together and talk about these things. And if it's not good, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we can make it better, and all those things, because Hollywood has still a lot to do to fix things up, because they've destroyed lots. It's very quick to destroy things. It just takes a very long time to rebuild them. And that's not just a metaphor for or a lesson for movies, but it's also a metaphor for life. Is that anything is fixable? You just got to know when to do it, how to do it, and I mean, look, if it's fixable, go for it. If it's not, well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, because I've only got a few minutes left of this video. So I will just say, just don't screw up. Be good. Be safe. And yeah, just be you. But I will say, though, that I'm glad that I have my health. I have my dogs. I have, I have a very good support system, and I'm enjoying every step of the way. So I will say, though, that if I don't come back tomorrow, in case there is, news, if there's news that comes out or something, something crazy, then I'm going to go on this and report it. But I might be back tomorrow. I'm not sure. I don't know. I might be back next year, which is like 3 days, 2 days from now. But who knows? We'll see. We will see. So anyway, I'm out of here. Love you guys. Be safe. Take care. And for those of you who submitted questions, or not really questions here, but messages on YouTube, I got to get back to the. For those of you that messaged me, there's a few of you that send some really good questions. I will get back to you. You know who you are. I will get back to you. There's one question that I may turn into a topic of discussion in one of my videos. So yeah, but I will get back to those. So I did not ignore you guys. But anyway, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I will be back again But until then, I'm out. Peace.